Today, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome Ramon Reyes from the Happy Munkey, New York City,
Yes,
to
sir.
Marijuana Channel 1. Welcome.
Well, first, let me say thank you, Dave, for taking out some time and talking with us.
You guys are the talk of the industry and the talk of New York City. So there's lots and lots to talk about. I guess the first thing is you're in the news because the Happy Munkey is sponsoring two dates at the Immersive Van Gogh exhibition in downtown New York on August 11th and 18th. And, that's just from someone who's been covering the mainstreaming of marijuana for a decade now, that is certainly a milestone. I mean, how did the Happy Munkey go from legacy brand to cutting edge legal brand, from a speakeasy brand to sponsoring an immersive Van Gogh art exhibit? What a trip.
It has been a hell of a journey between me and my partners. We have about anywhere from 20 to 30 years in the legacy market. But in the last 4 years, we decided to cultivate a brand, right? But what we started with was these speakeasy underground events, right? Which obviously became bigger than the underground that we were trying to hold on to, right?
The notoriety of being underground, right? It's what every mainstream brand wants, is, quote unquote street cred.
Right. So we already kind of came from that quote unquote street cred, right? So learning how to cultivate it into a brand and kind of like live within the gray market was something that we kind of already knew how to do, but now we kind of needed a brand and we needed a face and we needed a name to kind of like emerge us, right? To kind of like bring us alive. So we started with the events and and pretty much it's a lifestyle brand still because we're in New York City, right? So we're not a
That's
plant
right.
touching company, but we're an event company, we're a media company, we're a merch company. We kind of started with all these things because we also have background in the music industry and like hip hop and stuff like that.
That's right.
So with all these ties that we already had in the events, it kind of like grew out of control, right? So we started doing podcasts and we started doing magazines, but it went really public and we couldn't really hold, no matter how much we try to hold on to the underground, it went public. So from there, it kind of like gave us these major situations that we were kind of prepared for.
So how did and I want to drill down into that, but so, you guys became very vocal, I guess, on a national scene when New York went legal,
Yeah.
and through a lot of sort of public activity. And then you guys got a great publicist because you were everywhere, right? In all these mainstream publications. And, USA Today is profiling the Happy Munkey about legal cannabis in New York City before there is legal cannabis in New York City. What did you think about that?
That was, I'm gonna be honest, never in a million years would I would have thought that I would have been on the news for doing something good. All right, I don't come from that part of the island of Manhattan where we get on the news for good things, right? And especially for weed. So it's like, for being on the, I guess, the right side of the fence for the one,
Right.
for two, being on the news, three, being on the news for cannabis, and like not only just as a brand, but for cannabis as a community, as we should be normalizing all these areas of entertainment, restaurants, movie theaters, clubs, all these places should normalize the use of cannabis.
So now tell me about the Van Gogh exhibition. Now I heard that you were inspired to start the Happy Munkey in Amsterdam.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering, is it, sort of from there, illicit but well accepted coffee shop models, and Van Gogh is Dutch, and I'm wondering, is there a cannabis and art and cafe? How
Yes.
do all those things fit together? How'd you end up with Van Gogh downtown?
Exactly. All right. So the one thing we've always implemented in our events was some sort of art or live painting or something, right? Because I feel like people who smoke weed love art. They love to just
Oh
see
yeah.
things. It doesn't matter whether it's canvas art or immersive art, whatever it is, right? We love art. That's what that, you know, we, most people are creative, whether they're doctors or lawyers. If you're a stoner, you like some creative shit, right? So while I was in Amsterdam, it's funny because it comes full circle, right? I was in Amsterdam, I got inspired by the cafe, but it was also the first time that I actually learned about Vincent Van Gogh. Like we always knew about Vincent Van Gogh and the Starry Night, and he chopped off his ear, you know, that whole story. But to kind of learn more about him and him
Right.
going to the psych ward and him being inspired by cloudy skies and like things were like different type of situations, right? So this is the first time I actually learned about Van Gogh, which is my Amsterdam trip. So for now, for someone from the Van Gogh Immersive Company to reach out to us,
They reached out to you guys. You didn't reach out to
yes,
them.
no, they reached out to us through another friend of ours. Her name is Shantae Patrice, right? She's a really cool, dope music artist, and we've worked with each other as far as like music and videos and collaborations. And they reached out to her because she went to the I think it was like the first showing, the first viewing, and they they reached out to her and she reached out to us naturally, and it was basically a match made in heaven.
And so, what? Tell me exactly what goes on. You know, you're pretty elusive. I think you describe it as an one of a kind cannabis experience. I'm wondering, what does that mean? What are
Well,
we? You know, when I pay the ticket, when I buy my ticket and take the ride, what am I going to get when I go
all
to the
right.
museum?
So usually in these places, there's never a place for you to or a section or a safe section for you to smoke openly, right? Because this is a family thing. These are usually family affairs where you go in the daytime and you go with your kids and all that stuff. But since this is an after hour event, this is a 21 and over. It's safe to consume. We have a section where it's very safe to consume. It's not in front of the venue. It's not inside the venue because we don't want to ruin the art. But we curated a safe
Kind of
space,
outside.
right,
Yeah.
situation where people could kind of congregate, you know, get their goodie bags, our infamous goodie bags, and like, you know, smoke something, maybe take your little edible, whatever you want to do, then go inside and enjoy the ride, right? Now, when I
Oh,
say enjoy the
fantastic.
ride, it's a real ride. So it's a real big building full of immersive projections of all Van Gogh's pieces, like his life, like pretty much almost like a timeline of all the different
So it's like you're
inspirations that he went.
inside Starry Night. You're
Yeah,
inside
you're a
the
part of
art
Starry Night.
itself, right?
Absolutely, because it's four different rooms. There's a room full of mirrors, and then there's projections all over the wall and the floor. So it's like everywhere, right? Then it's like another big room where you can literally just sit and enjoy the whole art show because it's a 35-minute plus music art show pretty much, right? So you sit down and and it have circles on the floor, which is safe for safe social distancing, and you can literally just, we give you cushions, you can sit on the floor and just lay on the floor and just watch the art for 35 minutes, and then you can walk into the next room and do the mirror thing, and like, you know, so you can literally have
So it's just kind of free form. You're not doing programming. You're just come on
not doing,
in, enjoy an
no,
edible or have a
the
couple of
the
tokes,
only
and then
pre-program
enjoy.
I suggest is the pre-party, quote unquote pre-party. Stay outside first, smoke first, enjoy the people, walk in with the good energy, because that's the one thing you want to leave. You want to walk in with the good energy, right? So then while you're in there, you can experience it at a
That's
high
right.
intense level. You know, your energy, you want it to be high, and you want everybody else in the room energy to feel high. So when you
Oh, for
walk out of
sure.
there, yeah,
And
you
then you
walk out
walk
of there.
out, you get your goodie bag, and you're well branded, and you've had your cannabis experience. So is
Absolutely.
this the first of many? Are you envisioning then a series of
We
art and cannabis events?
So the whole point of this is, as a community, if we get the right support and the right push, right, as a community, we're able to push this to the next 14 cities that they're opening up as far as cannabis legal states, because
So
they're
you
growing.
might travel with them if we get a good turnout.
If we get a great turnout like they're supposed to, we travel with them and we basically show the world how cannabis and just normal life events coexist.
Yeah, the normalization, mainstreaming of marijuana. I love it. So if I want to buy a ticket, I'm watching this and we're going to help you promote this widely. Where do I go? How do I buy?
Real easy. You can get on happymunkey.com. That's HAPPYMUNKEY.com. Or you could look us up on Instagram. Our link is on our bio, but everything is on our website.
You're all over social media. That's
all over social media. The same
Happy
name.
Munkey with a U, not an O.
Absolutely.
HappyMunkey.com, and you can buy tickets there. There's 2 nights on August 11th and August 18th. So get your tickets. I have a notion that this will be a sellout, a never to be missed event. All your parties are always super buzz. You get lots of musicians and artists and celebrities, tons of press, tons of beautiful people. It's a groovy vibe. It's the place to be in New York City. I wish I could be there.
We wish we could have you.
Yeah, well, I wish you the best. And we're I think kind of running long, but I want to have you back because I want to talk about, and maybe you can start or leave us with your vision for this legacy to legal. Because New York's going through with Cuomo, and see, I wasn't going to do it, and I had to mention,
Let's do it.
the challenges with Cuomo and kind of a slow walking. So, from the outside, I see New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut all rushing, or all, suggesting that they want legal cannabis. New Jersey has gone, it's been years, quote unquote, medical, but it's a piss poor notion for what is legal, and they've kind of started in with a new governor to try to readdress that, but it's in no speed. New York is slow walking this thing, man. They find every excuse to kick the can down the alley, and your friends in Connecticut say, forget it, we're going for the tax dollars, we're going to be the first to open. What's the real deal?
Well, this is what I say about that. First of all, I'm patient. I'm not rushing. We kind of already got the bill that we wanted. You know what I mean? As far as New York is concerned, right now we're just waiting to see
murder versus Serta, meaning.
Yeah, exactly. So we got the murder. So hopefully now the people who become in charge, because now we're waiting for a control board to be appointed, right?
And that's really you want fair representation on the board, because you've got to work out, because the way that it works is that the laws are passed, but the rubber hits the road when regulations are crafted, and those are done not by voters but by regulators and folks who are involved from the industry, actively advocates. So you're part of that. You want to be part of that process and have been part of that process.
I have been part of that process. So right now we're basically waiting because it's a mystery, and until we kind of know who these people are, we don't know how. And the one thing is, even if we do find fair representation, we know that everything is not perfect. So we don't know anything until things start getting into play, right? So right now, I don't mind that they kind of slow playing it, but we can't slow play it too much.
That's right.
Right, because
like I said, you'll see a lot of folks just go to Connecticut and then Jersey, and that's just going to create all kinds of complications in terms of federal law and interstate commerce and that kind of thing. And with federal, law again suggesting it is moving forward, there's a certain amount of pressure. The last thing I'll ask is social equity. How does that play into your strategy moving forward in the New York sort of community?
Well, according to the bill, social equity, the term social equity is on our side as far as the bill, right? Because what happens is, no matter what the situation is, your company, if you're a social equity company, no matter what happens between you and investors or whoever is involved with your company, you always end up being 51% owner, right?
That's
great. That's great. That's law. That's according to law. That has nothing, that's an awesome thing, right? What we also worry about is that those social equity companies are still getting more than 51% of the revenue as well, not only,
Yeah, it's not just
right?
ownership, it's also apportioning of, because equity and rev share are different things, as any commission
Exactly.
salesperson will tell you.
Exactly.
I got a nice check today, I don't own it, kind of thing. That's fantastic. Thank you, Ramon, for this, and congratulations on this event, and congratulations on really the success of the Happy Munkey. I have people talking to me all the time saying, those guys must have all the money in the world. They are just everywhere.
No,
They've got
I
such a
wish.
big brand. And I tell them, it's not the case. What they have is authenticity and a focused vision. So I congratulate you on that and on
Thank
this
you.
successful launch of the exhibition. Encourage everybody to go out and buy them at the website.
Yes, yes, yes. Come hang out with us, please. We gonna have an enormous amount, and not only an enormous amount, but like you said, we always have these celebrities and beautiful people that like to come out, and they like to come out nonchalantly and smoke with people, and
That's right.
it's gonna be a very interesting Van Gogh tailgating situation.
Well, and and I grew up, we talked about this before we started recording. I grew up in the New York publishing. I was at Rolling Stone and Spin for many years. And, New York City is a really cool town in that they don't make a big deal, right? You're not hyping that celebrities are there, that, it's just, and everybody's very cool about it. It's like, oh, look who that is. The beautiful people are here. I'm in the right place. And that
Absolutely.
really is the brand, right? Is, like I said, it's that street cred, and you guys have it in Aces for sure.
I appreciate you, and I thank you. And for everybody who's listening, I appreciate you guys, because you guys make us us, and your support, goes around and around. We support you back, right?
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you very much. Until
Thank
our
you.
next conversation, this is Dave Rhines from MJ Channel 1 and MJ News Network. Cheers.
Cheers.